All right. Read my mind about that one. All right. Thank you for turning that on. Was that you, Alan? Okay. Just checking the participants here. I see you, Chris. Yay. Hi, Madeline. I see you. And Robin, yay. See you there too. Good. Okay, can you all hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay, very good. Three,
Check.
2, 1. We're ready to start the meeting. It's recording. And the meeting is called to order today on April the 9th, 2024. One thing I wanted to talk about on the agenda really quickly is a couple of little things that you'll see up at the top, little points, is that for those who are on who are online, if you're on YouTube, Skagit Transit has a YouTube channel, so it'd be great to like and subscribe to it because this is where our meetings are going to be put from now on, and the board meetings are also appearing up there as well. So again, it's the YouTube channel. Subscribe and like the Skagit Transit channel. It's easy to find if you just do a search for it. And then the next little thing I wanted to mention is, and this has to do if there is any background noise. It's fine to be unmuted unless you end up having background noise where you are. And if there is background noise, just go ahead and mute yourself. You can always unmute when you want to speak, if that sounds good. Okay, so having taken care of those things, Cheryl, would you like to take care of the roll?
It would be my pleasure.
Thank you.
Doris, she's in New York, so I'm not sure if she'll make it.
Okay.
Ray,
Here.
BJ Carroll,
Present.
Craig Edens and Louise Edens are not present. Unfortunately, he is ill today.
Okay.
Madeline,
Hello.
Robin Gosney,
Here.
Chris Jones,
Here.
Judy Jones,
Here.
John Norman.
Here.
He's here. Monette Parton. Dick Phillips.
Here.
Valerie Rose.
Here.
Dave Stevens. He's here. Daniel.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all.
Okay, and thank you all for coming. And Alan, I take it as there too, correct? I was thinking I heard your voice right.
So present for Skagit Transit are Cheryl Willis and Rogelio Concho Castro.
Rogelio, hello. Okay, very good.
Hi, can you hear me?
And who's this?
It's Doris.
Yay! Hi.
All right.
Amazing. Hi,
Doris.
New York.
How are things in New York?
Great. Very fun. Ithaca's a
did you
very
see
fun town.
Did you see the eclipse?
It was totally clouded over, but we did experience the whole eclipse, and it was quite amazing.
Oh, that is so awesome.
And people fired off fireworks at the total time, and there were hundreds of people along the shores of Lake Cayuga. And when we were driving home, like the ospreys were in their nests, and the cows were like lying down in the fields. It was so interesting.
Fake nighttime.
Beautiful. And you could see we couldn't any corona or anything because we couldn't see the sun, but you could watch the shadow moving north across the clouds.
Oh.
It was really
that's
quite
great.
dramatic in its own way, even though
Oh.
it wasn't like quite a different way.
That is wonderful.
Safer way too.
Yeah, it was very beautiful in its
That
way.
is fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Well, I'm glad you could join us. Thank you so much, especially during your travel time.
Yes,
Okay,
thank you. I'll be listening.
good. Any introduction of guests? Do we have any guests present at the
Yes.
meeting?
Yes, Madam Chair, we do have a guest. His name is Ed Johnson.
Oh, okay. Very good. And welcome, Ed. I remember you. Very good. And we also wanted to see if there's are you going to be public commenting too, Ed?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So let's go ahead and take a minute or two for your public your public comment.
Okay, can you hear me without this electronic stuff or?
Not very well.
That's unfortunate. I don't like this. Is it on now?
Yes.
Okay, I'm a computer science major. I started using computers back in the 70s, and it's really
We'll
great.
give you about a minute or two.
What?
We'll give you a minute or two.
Minute or two for what?
Yes. Did you had a public comment?
Yeah, you just interrupted me. You
Okay,
didn't hear
go
me?
ahead. Sorry.
You can't hear
No,
me?
not at first.
Ah.
There is a lag time.
Yeah, it's kind of why I don't like this technology and where it's gone. Again, I went to UC Santa Barbara on a scholarship. I went through computer systems engineering. I have quite an extensive background, I guess more than most, and I hadn't really thought about it until recently where I saw everybody, not everybody, almost everybody in 44 states having trouble with their computers. And I realized something. Not a one of them have any specialized training in it other than using their program or what they love to call apps. Nobody is proficient at them. And I'm just like, what is going on? And now that I'm a senior, low income, and disabled, I find that the government is a mess. I have to make 5 applications for the Fish and Game Department. I already did one, and each one of these requires a doctor's signature. Well, the government already knows I'm low income. I have an EBT card, that I'm using various other resources, and I don't understand why. I do understand why, and it's disgusting how the persons in charge are really not qualified. So, in other words, when a new program comes available to us seniors and stuff, or anybody, because the government is putting these programs into place, we are already registered across the board. These computers really do talk pretty quick, milliseconds. But again, I have to go make a new appointment to go get more applications. Okay, that said, I haven't heard anything about buses and stuff helping out on festivals, especially the Tulip Festival. And I kind of want to hear about that, as well as, in conjunction with the new parking area, which is slated to open up maybe in late July. But there's no signage or anything for the tourists to say, hey, we got something new that we don't have to hassle, and maybe a bus that has a toilet that'll take us out to the Tulip festivals and so on and so forth. There's a lot of great festivals, but this town was built in the 1900s. It does not accommodate the oversized 3,500 trucks and F-350s and whatever dual axle dummies that come into town and try parking on the sidewalk and so on. Point is, it's just really interesting to me and comical that we are reinventing the wheel and we just don't accommodate what we need instead of what we want. So I'm kind of disturbed about that. Last time I spoke to you about a year or more ago was about bags and ridership. I'm hoping something has transpired over that, but knowing how things work around here, probably not. And that is 3-bag limit. I kind of understand it, but at the same time, if there's nobody on board the bus or the paratransit, what do you care? So
Okay.
There's one more.
Okay.
So on the ridership, I don't know how you justify everything, but again, I lived in a town of 7 million, and it seems here people are struggling with a couple 100,000 population. And that's again, back to the reinventing of the wheel. So others do it really well, and maybe it would behoove everybody to take a look at some of the better infrastructure folks.
Okay, well, for one thing, we just had 2 weeks of public meetings that have been widely advertised. And if you went to one of those, you might have, and it's very possible you did. The new plans for transit planning have been discussed, and ideas have been brought forth. And this was a really good time for public comments in public meetings. There is also we do take applications. We do have one slot left for the Community Advisory Committee. And our chief goal is yes, we do have to recognize problems, but our chief goal is to find solutions and to help Skagit Transit with those. So if you are interested in being part of the CAC, you are most welcome to apply. And that is one of the citizens, ways for citizens to participate. And again, we like to focus on the solutions. Recognize the problem, but focus on the solutions. And I think on the other things you've mentioned, I know that those have been explained to you in the past. And I can say that Skagit Transit is always working on improvements. So definitely you are welcome to apply if you would like to. And I appreciate your public comments. Thank you so much for those.
Yeah, each time you just said that you're reinventing the wheel. I wish you guys would learn the wheel's already been invented. Just take a look and see who's doing what. That's all I ask.
Well, okay, so to get involved, I've explained the system on getting involved, and if you would like to, you are most welcome to. Thank you very much for your comments.
One more thing on these meetings. Yeah, I tried to attend, but they didn't correspond to any time that I had available. So that was really unfortunate.
Well, that does happen. And if things change for you, you're most welcome. If things change for you, you're most welcome to apply anytime.
Burlington was going to be my next destination tomorrow.
Okay, good. And there is a public meeting there, so that's awesome. Very good.
Last one.
Okay, moving on. We have minutes to approve, to discuss if there's any additions or corrections to the March minutes.
I move.
This is Dick.
March minutes.
Okay.
I'll second that motion.
First and second.
Okay. Okay, and who is the one who made the motion?
I move that we approve
So,
the minutes.
Dave Stevens and then Dick Phillips.
And I heard, okay, that sounds good.
I think BJ.
Right. Okay, very good. Okay, it's been moved by DJ Dave and seconded by Dick that the minutes be approved. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Same sign. All right. Thank you all very much for that. Moving then on now to, there's been something brought up regarding the route 513. It's a little bit on a tight schedule. And so I know that Robin, I don't know, is it something you feel like you'd like to comment on your experience on that route, on how tight it is? See if we can just.
Yeah, just quickly, my problem is that it seems like every time I learn to do something, like I learned, okay, if it looks like the 513,
we've got a train
checking it on time to catch the 301, I should, ask the driver to hold the 301, but I never know for sure. And most recently, I got on the 301 and I noticed it was 5:13 according to the time on the bus itself, on the reader board in there, and he was rolling out. And so I'm thinking, okay, each time I get on the 301, I might as well just be resolved to say I am hoping to catch the 301. And can you hold it if necessary? it's going to get a little tiresome to the drivers, I think, too.
No, the drivers love it when you talk to them. Really, Robin. It's a good thing. Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things I know, Robin, that after you had told me about that, I was asking Alan, and he says, that has traditionally been a really tight run. And, maybe in future they might have to reimagine how that run's going to look. But for right now, it's kind of what it is. And it's just one of these things that I guess, if you're going to need to make that changeover, to definitely notify the driver, for that bus to hold. Um, what's what's kind of too bad is that people who get on that bus really don't know that they need to let the driver know that. But it's just one of these things that needs improvement among things that we're trying to improve with Skagit Transit. So I appreciate the drivers being amenable to doing whatever they can to accommodate the passengers.
I agree
Does
with
anybody?
that, and I think.
Yeah. Does it? Uh-huh.
And again, I'm thinking communications is an answer. If it says someplace in the writer's guide that this is something that may be necessary or that often is necessary, or if there's a notice on the bus just as the passenger gets on. Maybe I'm the only one that's had this problem, but I don't think so. I can't see how I can be the only one that just didn't know to do that.
I get the impression you're not the only one, just having talked with Alan about it. And, since they know that it's a run that's kind of like that one. Does anybody else have any comments, or are you familiar with that 513-301 changeover?
With the bus not waiting. Can't hear me.
We do have some drivers that will ask whoever's riding, are you changing at the end of the line? Doesn't always happen, but some do that.
I had an experience with the paratransit. We got downstairs and the guy was driving away, and my neighbor whistled and I yelled, and he didn't want to stop, so he kept going.
Okay.
That was the last time I went on the paratransit.
Well, yeah. So like this one that we're talking about right now is the 513 and the 301. Does anybody else have experience on that? Okay, so Ed, the one thing too about, the paratransit, if there's any issues with that, Brad that you had talked to before is no longer with Skagit Transit, but there is a gentleman who is interim liaison for our committee. His name is Alan Brooks, and you could talk with him. He's at the same number where you could reach Brad, 757-4400. And then, just follow and then get to Alan Brooks. So he would be the one that you could talk to with further, for further information on paratransit if you've got questions or anything on any of the bus lines. Do we have any other comments on this 513? So I'm thinking, Cheryl, is Alan coming to the meeting at all today?
He is not, Madam Chair. He has to be at the other event.
Okay. Oh, sure. Okay. Well, that's fine. So probably what you might do, if it's okay, Cheryl, is to just let Alan know, that Ed has been here to the meeting, and then Ed makes sure and call in and ask for Alan Brooks.
Right.
And he can help you out.
My comment was about the attitude of some of the drivers. It's very rare, but I came across it, and so is this other lady. That's all I got to say.
Okay, well, thank you very much for that. I do appreciate it. All right. If there isn't any more comments on that, then I think we've got something coming up from Madeline Hanslick. And Madeline is one of our ones. I thank so many people for assisting in the public meetings these last 2 weeks. We've got one last one tomorrow. And thank you, Ray, for taking that one. If you're still able to take it, that's awesome.
Yes.
So anyway, we'll let Madeline go ahead and do your present. She has a report to present and a little bit of discussion with it.
I apologize right away. I do not have a report. I've not been able to get the information from Skagit Transit yet. So Alan was not available to give me what I needed. So I'm going to go through the public information officer to get the report for next month. But what I'm looking for are ridership comments that are turned in so that we can just see if there's a theme or something we can address if we see a commonality. You know, all riders are going to have different experiences. I get that. But when they're moved enough to write a comment or a complaint, I think that's something that it would be helpful for us to be able to see what's going on, as well as talking to other people. Like all the comments we're getting in these meetings, I think are invaluable. And I don't know when you want to discuss the results of that, Judy.
You know, what I'd like to do is if you can't, because the people involved were not able to get to you in time, I'd like to go ahead and try to schedule that for next meeting if we could, Cheryl.
Yes, I'll put it on the agenda.
Okay, thank you for that. I appreciate that. And so let me ask you this, Madeline, and we'll start with you with your public meeting. How do you think it went that you had in Concrete last week?
As expected, we had no one show up. We had 3 representatives of local agencies who work with these people, and that was the most benefit. So we had 2 people from Community Action and 1 from an outreach program from the Presbyterian Church. And that's who does most of the work out here with people. So they are invaluable contacts to move forward, to talk to other people. We informed them. Cheryl gave a great presentation and gave them a lot of materials to take back. But unfortunately out here, it has to be pretty controversial to get people to come down. And because this was an information meeting, people weren't mad enough or wrought up enough to come out. So it wasn't unexpected at all, but we did hit people we needed to do. So that was, and the only comment that I really heard repeatedly was, again, trying to extend the route past Concrete. Several people are out there and we've asked them to submit comments to that effect, that there's 5, 6, 7 people that really want to use it from Marble Mount or somewhere out there. So that's something we always will be addressing. We tried this a couple of years ago, once a week. It didn't work. So again, that's raised its head. So we will address that. But that's the only really thing I heard at this point, except for getting more information out to more people.
Okay.
I'll consult you in the future, Madeline, for how I should dress to be more exciting.
No, controversial. So it has to be outrageous. People have to talk about you to come see you.
Ooh la la.
I don't know if you want that. But like we have the mining out here. We have issues where people's livelihoods are being threatened. That brings people in, something that's really major. But their opinions on things, not quite so much.
Okay. All right. Very good. I appreciate that comment. I understand. So I can say with the Anacortes meeting, because I attended that one, I'll be really brief. There were probably about between 15 and 20 people, Cheryl, out there. That was on Saturday, the first Saturday. And yeah. And I think at that one, that wasn't bad at all. Having that was good. And there was rain. The consultants were at that meeting. They did present. I got some questions at the table. We had. Let's see. We passed out a couple of rider information things, but again, it was an informational meeting, and people got some questions answered, and they had suggestions. So that happened at the Saturday meeting. And then Ray was assigned in for the Cedar Woolley meeting. And how did you think about that meeting, Ray?
I didn't write down how many people showed up. I did on
That's okay.
the paper there, but I don't have it with me.
Sure.
I found it to be very informative. I thought it was pretty good. We did have, gosh, was there 6 or 7 or 8 people and a couple? We had a gentleman come. He didn't want to sign in, but he was interested in the meeting, and so that was one more we had. I think that it was really, it was informative. I don't know a lot of the stuff, so that was helpful. I even had a couple of questions. Alan and Cheryl there did a great job, so I was pleased, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow. And Ed said that he might try to go to the one tomorrow. He has left this meeting now, but it'll be, we can have him come and give us some more input. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, and then Chris, what about the meeting that you went to in Anacortes?
I was writing. There were, Michelle can probably correct me here because I wasn't checking absolute numbers of who was what, because they would say. Would it be fair to say maybe 8 to 10, Cheryl?
I think it's 7 to 8, maybe.
7 to 8, thank you. Okay. I was being a bit too generous. Yeah, probably 7 or 8 people. And I mean, there were a few that came. And there was one contact that Cheryl knew who was very enthusiastic about the Skagit Transit being involved and what plans we were trying to do and this and that. A few of the other people spoke up, but he really spoke most of the meeting, to be very honest. And his input was good, but I think we need to, let the salt be sprinkled all over the place. And I think Cheryl was trying to appropriately try to market that. But I thought it was a good meeting as an observer. That's kind of all I was doing, was observing and trying to encourage people to go. So,
okay. You're breaking up a little bit.
Okay. I would certainly do it again if asked. No problem.
No, that's great. Well, thank you for that. I got most of what you said. It just broke up a little bit. And then BJ, how about your meeting?
We only had about 3 people, but our mayor came, and it was very interesting. And she also invited me to speak to, she has these small community meetings to get to know people. She's a fairly new mayor. And so I'm on the schedule in May, and I'll take timetables and I'll be able to speak a little bit, particularly about paratransit. So I thought that was an effective outcome.
Oh, that is fantastic. Sounds like, not a lot of people, but connections are definitely made that with people who can do things.
And it's an ongoing thing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What city was your meeting in, BJ?
That was LaConner.
Oh, okay.
Very good. And in Doris, how about you? Now, were you able to do Saturday?
She was present, and she did help a lot.
Okay. And so, yeah. All right. How many came to that meeting, do you think, Cheryl, more or less?
I think it was 8 to 10. I think closer to 10, I think.
Very good. Very good. All right. Same good results and some good connections then, I take it.
Yes, definitely. Another enthusiastic group at that meeting. And I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to each and every one of you that took the time out of your day to come and be at the event and greet people so graciously.
Well, thank you too. And Cheryl, you were great at the hospitality. You were just really good. It was a pleasure seeing you, being the hospitality minister there and just talking with people and interacting. It was awesome. It was fun to do. So thank you too for getting us in on this. Okay, so I guess this leads into next the educational excursion. And I guess you take it away, Cheryl, because this is your baby here.
Okay, so it's what we're looking at is May 8th.
Excuse me, I'm interrupting a little bit. I just got an email from Annette. She's in the waiting room. Do you see her?
She just popped in.
Okay. Hi, Minette. Yay. Good. Very good. All right.
I have a question.
Oh, we have a question.
Where was the high school and the YMCA at?
We haven't got to that yet.
Oh, okay.
It's okay. Go ahead.
So what were I took the survey on my computer at home. So what were the results of the survey, or have you already talked about that?
They're still collecting surveys, and that will continue till the end of the month.
Okay. So then maybe in our next meeting, we might talk about it.
Yeah, the next meeting we'll know what the total is and we can report that back to you.
Okay.
That would be another good agenda item there too. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So Cheryl, I'm sorry to interrupt, but you were going to talk about our excursion.
Okay.
So can you hear me? I just wanted to say, this is Doris. I went to a meeting on Saturday also at Skagit Station.
Yeah,
there was one more meeting.
Right. I called on you and I wasn't sure if you were able to unmute. And Cheryl, so give us really quick your impressions and then we'll go back to Cheryl.
Well, it was fine. It was already reported. I mean, it just happened. I think there was about 10 people there, and there were people put sticky notes up and talked to the consultants, and that was basically it. So yeah, we did it.
All right. And thank you. I just wanted to thank you so much for doing that for us on Saturday too. All right.
Great.
Okay. Okay, we'll give it another shot, Cheryl.
Three's a charm. So May 8th is a Wednesday, and that's what we're looking at for the date for our educational trip. And this is the trip that's going to be on the Route 615. And so it would be a 10:30 meetup at Skagit Station in the lobby. And then we would move from the lobby onto the 615. It departs at 10:45. And the reason why I like to meet in the lobby is it's a great chance for me to say hi to everybody, check you off my little list, and go to the restroom.
School field trips, right?
Kind of like that. Yeah, here at Skagit Station. And then we'd proceed on the 615 and at 12:05 get off in La Conner. And again, there'd be the opportunity for a restroom. And then we'd walk from the stop. It's like a building and a half away from the stop to Santos Coyote. And it's an eatery, and they are happy to host whether you want to eat or not. They're open to people bringing their own food if they wish to.
Wow. This is Valerie. I just wanted to say that that's incredibly, sorry, go ahead, Dave.
What kind of coyote do they serve?
Wile coyote.
Actually, I don't think they serve coyote.
Oh, okay.
Aw.
So
I eat there often. It's about a block away. And they have soups and things and specials. I'm certain that you could get something light to eat and perhaps to drink too.
If they got coffee, I'm good.
Yes.
They have coffee. So then we have a big place to all be together. And then after about 1:15, some people may need to leave. I heard one person mention they have a family situation, but the rest of us would go to the Museum of Northwest Art, and they'd like to host us starting about 1:15. And then just around 2:00, we would go out the back of the museum, and the stop is right behind the museum, and catch the 615 back to Skagit Station with a 2:30 arrival at Skagit Station. It has. It's on first. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Hello?
So 2:30
Yeah.
would be back at the Skagit Station.
Hey, you might need to state, Cheryl, what just happened in the conversation, because we didn't on Zoomville get them hear the questions.
They were checking the address in LaConner.
Okay. Got it.
It is indeed very, very close.
Okay. Any other questions for Cheryl on the excursion thing on May 8th?
That's time to meet up is 10:30.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct, 10:30. So just let me know if you can attend.
By when do you need to know? Deadline?
Oh, I do intend to be there.
I'm asking. Yeah, I was wondering with Cheryl if there's a deadline of when she needs to know.
Oh,
I think the restaurant would love to know by the day before, because you know they want to just be prepared with the right number of chairs.
Yeah. Okay, great. Very good. Any other questions for Cheryl on this?
This is Valerie. I just wanted to thank you, Cheryl, for organizing this. I have been to the restaurant many times. Really wonderful food and some friendly staff. So this sounds like a fun outing, and I hope to be able to join.
Especially when she was trying to do this with all the public meetings going on too. I mean, she's had her hands full.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome. I'm learning to get around in roller skates.
Okay. All right. So if there's no further questions for Cheryl on this, let's get, I take it you're doing the staff report for Alan, correct, Cheryl?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, we got coming up, what about the Edison open house? Alan at the Edison open house?
Yeah, so right now the reason why Alan's not here is because he's at the public open house that is happening in the town of Edison, which is North Skagit. So we'll let you know about it.
Yeah. Okay, the open house kind of fooled me. I was going, open house, what's that one? Okay, got it. And then the outside resources event, what's that?
So the two of us, Rogelio and myself, were at that event yesterday in Concrete. It was outdoors at the community center in Concrete. It rained most of the time, but people still came, which was great. This was an event where the it was kind of a wide resource combination. So there was the needle exchange that was there. There was Tikwalik's methadone treatment resource there. There was the food bank was there.
I'm calling it an information fair, right?
Yeah, information fair. That's perfect. Yeah, a lot of folks from different locations came up to Concrete to be there for individuals who wanted to come by.
Very cool. And then also this high school parent academy event.
That's you.
Hello, Judy. It's Rogelio.
Hi, Rogelio.
So I did that event. Goal of that event was, it happened 2 weekends ago. And the goal was to try to promote our youth program. We're trying to promote that more as the summer is coming along, trying to get the word out there. Hopefully we have some new flyers and some new material coming up within the next couple of weeks in regards to that. We also have a YMCA youth event, again promoting the youth All about health. Yeah, health event, promoting all the services that we have and offer here at Skagit Transit. It's this weekend from 2 to 5. And that's for youth in Mount Vernon.
Okay. Wow, you are being kept busy for sure. Now, are you the one that's going to be doing all of these new flyers and things? Because I understand you do graphics quite well.
Yeah, I'm working with Cheryl. I'm working with Alan. We're trying to get it going. Hopefully within the next couple months we have new stuff. Yeah, but slowly but surely we're getting stuff out there. So yeah.
Well, that's great. That sounds good. And this is the first time you've reported, and I think that's awesome. Thanks very much for those. Any questions for Rogelio or Cheryl on these events that are coming up and that they've done?
Well, I kind of off the subject slightly. The Skagit Transit plan to participate in the Cedar Woolley 4th of July parade in any way?
We did last year, and it's likely it will happen again.
All right.
One thing I will add in, and this is something that Ed mentioned, that I asked about, and this was that the Tulip Festival. One of the questions I had was kind of like his. Well, couldn't we actually end up having some bus transits or some advertisement for that? And the thing about the Tulip Festival, from what I'm understanding, is that if that the festival is sort of like to take people to the different farms and places are really off of outside, not outside the service area, but basically off of the service area. It kind of deviates from that. So I'm understanding this is why they don't provide actual direct service to the Tulip Festival, because that was my question too about that. But it seems to me like we've got so many festivals, the more we can get involved in these, and be seen, the better, I think. I do agree with that.
We are involved with a festival that kind of connects with that this month. And you are right, Judy. It's a big, one of those gardens isn't even close to any of our routes. And it would be quite a deviation. Traffic flow is another thing that falls into that bailiwick as well.
Okay. Are there any festivals, I guess, Cheryl, that you guys are looking into doing that happen that Skagit other than the Tulip Festival, that Transit normally hasn't been a part of that we could maybe be a part of and be more visible this year?
Yeah, there. So the school districts are asking us to come to events that we've never attended before. So that's one area that we are definitely doing that with. And as things come to us, they have to be submitted. And so far, so good.
All right. Oh, and thank you for Valerie. Thank you for that. Okay. Any other questions for Cheryl or Rogelio on these events or attending events in general? Okay, hearing none. The connector committee, which used to be the awareness committee, anybody having taken connectors lately have anything to report? Anything going smoothly?
Doris, did you take a connector to get to New York?
New York.
Doris is in New York. Yeah. I think Doris had to leave, but how about Valerie? Okay, well, I guess we're not here. We don't have anything to report this time on the connector.
I do. I am here. Hey, can you hear me now?
It's Doris. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm having a little time undoing the commuting sometimes, but I did not take the commuter. I drove to Lake City and left my car there, and then went to the light. I took the bus to the light rail in the U District, and when I did go to the airport on the light rail. But that was my story.
All smooth traveling.
So, thank you.
Thank you too.
I got into JFK. I flew into New York, and I took the train out to see my sister. And then the next day I took the train back to New York City, and I got on an express bus from Midtown Manhattan to Ithaca. So yep, wow. I'm taking public transport.
So did you find their public transit quite different from the public transit out here?
All the buses run on 4 wheels or 12 wheels or 16. It's all the same. We just have just more of them.
Okay. Right. Very good. Sure. Thank you too. Thank you. Any more questions for Cheryl? Okay. Moving into the roundtable portion. Does anybody have anything for roundtable?
Well, I wanted to know, he's not here to answer, but I wanted to know if Alan ever contacted the post office or United General Fitness about having our bus schedules there.
The post office has a policy that it will not accept any outside information.
That seems kind of dumb, especially since it's for the city and the county.
It sounds like it's a federal thing where they won't do it.
That's ridiculous.
What was the other place you mentioned? Which fitness?
Did he ever call? See, there's some really old bus schedules at United General Fitness Center, and I wondered if he ever contacted the manager, Mark Pearson, to ask him if we could bring some new ones.
I've got a note, and I will make sure that some get there.
I would just think that we could just do it if we get some. I've taken one to the church I go to. I've taken one someplace else I go to, and I just leave them there.
Yeah.
We don't really need permission to take a couple of schedules from the Skagit Transit and leave them in a place where we think that people will use them.
I think what's really important to do is if any of us are taking and leaving off like rider, these bus rider in this information at places. We need to let Cheryl know that we're doing it so that she can follow up to make sure ridership knows that they're there, and follow up with the businesses or entities to make sure they're passing them out and ridership's getting them. Because that's the other part of it. The marketing part is, getting the stuff out there, but then letting ridership know that it is there. Making sure that both of those things are happening.
I really think that's dumb that the post office wouldn't let you do that. But I'm really shocked by the local businesses that won't take them because some of their patrons ride the bus.
Well, so, I don't know. I don't know if businesses have a policy that they won't take them, or if they just forget
what their problem is. But I don't like that.
So David had something.
To me, that's not being a very good corporate neighbor.
Dave said that it was similar in Bellingham also.
Yeah, the post office there, they can't do them either.
They have to follow federal guidelines. They can't deviate from that.
I'll write a letter to Rick Larson. Good Lord.
That boy, yes, Rick Larson is a good person to get a hold of. He is very cooperative.
Yeah, I'm going to write him a letter and say, why can't we put bus schedules in the post office? That's kind of ridiculous. But,
well, I wonder if it isn't some kind of a federal thing that, not, it isn't.
I don't know.
That's a good question.
Like it doesn't the harm it could do. And then I don't know, and I just feel like these businesses should be more cooperative. Since they're part of the community, they should be more cooperative. And people are spending their,
I think it's a matter also of how to court the businesses as well. And because their businesses are involved in a lot in our communities. And if there was if there's a way to be able to do it, I think that'd be great to do. So what I was wondering, can we as citizens and riders place things in businesses, Cheryl, that Skagit Transit as an agency cannot do? Like, do you guys have restrictions where we as citizens would not?
I would guess that it's across the board, or whatever the
I'm just curious.
are.
Okay. All right. Well, as long as we can, any of us, including myself here, because I've given, like some of our rider information, stuff like this out as well. And I need to remember to Cheryl to let you know where I've put them, where I've given them, so that you have an idea of who to follow up with and what to do. And maybe that's what we all should do, is contact Cheryl with and let her know where we've put rider information, is what I would advise. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I don't know. This is Doris.
Doris,
I had one idea. Is there's difference. I think there might be a difference between trying to drop off a bunch of schedules that have to go somewhere, but maybe we could develop some kind of graphic that just gives the bus that services that place and its schedule on a 8.5 by 14 sheet that people could read at the venue, to let them know that there is a bus that services them and what its schedule is. That could alert them, and then you, on that place, you could have the website and the phone number for Skagit Transit, just like so that people who are coming by can see, if I took the 202, I could get to the jail or whatever. Just a thought.
Good idea.
Some of this
So I wanted to interject a thank you to Judy, because a lot was done with our website, and Judy took time to test the things that were being worked on our website.
Oh, goodness. Well, Wow. I mean, for me, that's a win-win situation. I just appreciate everything. The IT really gets the credit for it because they've been working on it, and that I appreciate that to no end. If y'all go on to our website and look at the CAC page, it's gotten a lot of love within the last week, and it has a facelift. It looks good. So if you get a chance to go to our CAC page, go ahead and do that. It's really awesome, and the IT is great. They get the credit for it for sure. Okay, anything else that anyone has for Roundtable?
Are we going to participate in the Skagit County Fair?
Yes, we will be at the Skagit County Fair on that Thursday of the fair.
All right. We have to push our thing.
I'll volunteer for that.
What's the type thing?
Oh, no. No, I got it.
So what's happening over there in the room?
We have a major train.
Oh.
Plus, some of us were looking at the website, which I feel like I'm a real person now. The CAC section is pretty nice.
Isn't that great? They did a good job.
Yeah, it is nice.
What can I get into besides the schedule? It shows, I clicked on, here, let's go back. I clicked on, that's right. A minute.
You know, just from Google, you can type CAC Skagit Transit, and you could just look at what they've done. It'll pop up there. That's how I found it.
There it is. I saved the website under my favorites, but now it says down here, it says recent news, Skagit Transit Citizen Community Advisory Committee. And I clicked on that and I got, oh, you have a passion. There's a whole thing about it. Okay. You have a passion.
They put some of the information in tables instead of bullet points. It looks really nice.
Now let me see. And then let me click on that. Join CAC, join meetings. Current CAC.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, it looks really good, and and they've not only worked on the CAC site, but they've done some other things. Now, when you click on the Facebook link on the main page, it actually goes to Facebook instead of Twitter. I've been after them for 2 years to change that, and they finally did it. They finally actually did it. They had to go to their web domain server people to get that to change. So, I mean, they really went to some links to get that done too. And then they've been posting on Facebook as well. So they've been doing a lot on their websites, and they get the kudos for that. Are there any more topics for Roundtable? Okay, does anybody have any further business?
Well, all I'm going to make a little remark is that I'm anxious to see how the surveys came out. And I did put a comment in there, which I was also encouraged to do, about working with community transit. So I'm anxious to see how the survey turned out.
Right. And hopefully Cheryl can have us that for the next meeting. That'd be great.
Yes, and I'm anxious to hear about any increase in service anywhere.
Yeah.
Very anxious.
Well, the ridership reports are showing steady increase from what they've told us. And, Alan wasn't here to give any of that today, but, he'll definitely have that probably for us in May. So that would be good to hear for sure. Yeah, I think one last real comment really quick is there was something mentioned to me about the reader boards on the bus. but on the buses, they need to be in larger print, and they need to quit changing every 5 seconds. It's hard for people to be able to read what's there. So Cheryl, are you taking notes?
I am writing.
Yeah, like you have to wait till it's around a bunch of times before you can see it all. I've seen things like that.
We need larger print and longer reading times.
Yes, don't change so quick.
Okay. That is all I can think of anyway. Anybody else have anything else?
Say that.
Yes.
John's paratransit is here.
Okay. Well, okay. All in favor of adjourning, say aye.
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 Oh dear, I didn't move and second. Everybody is in favor. We've moved and seconded. We're adjourning by acclamation. Any opposed?
No, you're not.
Who said that?
Dave, but he changed his mind because I told him he'd have to walk to the bowling alley.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you all so much for coming today.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. I will do my best to make May's meeting in person. And Cheryl, thank you for all your work today. I know this is your second trip over to the meeting room, right? Oh, gosh, thank you so much for everything. We will talk to you guys later, and we'll see you May 8th.
Will do. Bye.
Thank you
And I
for
like
all of you listening.
Hey,